Let's first review last week's market action before we talk about next week's movement. Last week was from November 17th to November 23rd. Bitcoin's highest line this week closed at $96,631, and it didn't even touch the midline. The lowest point was $80,632, completing all my downside targets and even piercing through my bottom line target of $82,000. Ethereum's highest line this week closed at $3,249, and just like Bitcoin, it couldn't even hold the midline. It was very obvious it couldn't go up, so there's nothing more to say. The lowest line closed at $2,623, which also completed all the downside targets. The only thing that didn't go well this month is that between November 15th and 18th, there wasn't a proper upward move. Because of that, the price reached $89,000 before the 19th, earlier than expected. I originally expected Bitcoin to break below $90,000 between November 19th and the 27th, but the market simply accelerated beyond my expectations. If we had seen a rebound before the 19th, then the break below $90,000 should have started on the 19th. And I also said before, if the price reached $82,000 or $89,000 earlier than expected, the market could easily turn into a choppy range. At this point, there's really nothing new to say. I've repeated it many times already. Now everything depends on the year-end level, whether $74,000 can hold. I definitely don't want to see that level break, because in my view, that's the dividing line between a bull market and a bear market. If the market can hold around $80,000 this month, then next month we still need to watch whether it will retest the yearly low. If it can quickly recover, then there's still hope. But if $74,000 breaks, then we're basically looking at a bearish trend. Most likely, the market would go all the way down to between $10,000 and $30,000, though personally I feel the real bear market might not start until at least next June. But again, this depends on what the market chooses to do. It's not about what I say. You must always follow the candlestick charts. Right now, there are only 5 days left before the rebound window I mentioned. I hope these 5 days can stay in a consolidation. If we break below $80,000, then I will add more to my position. Let's patiently wait for Saturn to finish its retrograde. If the astrological timing is accurate, Saturn will end its retrograde on the 28th. This is an important signal for Bitcoin because Saturn's retrograde has suppressed multiple attempts for Bitcoin to move upward, so the 28th is a key date. Let me also explain my plan in case we do enter a bear market. I've already thought it through. I will buy in the 70 to 80,000 range, and again in the 10 to 30,000 range. I already bought once at $85,000. Other than that, nothing has changed. Same old view, nothing more to add. We continue waiting for Q2 next year. This is only for reference. It's my personal opinion. And regarding the small altcoins, the rule is the same. If you truly believe in the project, then hold. If you don't, then don't touch it. If you're feeling fear right now, then don't act blindly. It's very easy to make mistakes when your emotions take over. I hope no one rushes to double their money. If the wealth is meant to be yours, it will eventually be yours. If it's not yours, forcing it won't work. Let me share 2 real stories from an experienced trader in my Chinese stock group. The first story is about one of his colleagues who used to be his subordinate. Around 2007, this person spent over 800,000 yuan to buy 100,000 shares of Shandong Gold. Later that year, he was detained by the Railway Procuratorate due to financial issues, and his trading account was frozen. It looked like bad luck, but it actually turned into a blessing. Because he couldn't operate the account, those 100,000 shares stayed untouched, as the stock moved from over 8 yuan all the way up to over 200 yuan in 2008. When his issue was resolved and he was spared criminal charges, only being expelled from the party and dismissed from his job, his account was unfrozen. He sold immediately and made more than 10 million yuan. He didn't even care about the punishment, saying the interest alone would give him 500,000 to 600,000 yuan a year. But good things didn't last long. When he went home, he partied and drank with friends every day. One night he got drunk in a hotel. His friend left him in the room, and he suddenly passed away in the middle of the night, not even 50 years old. The second story is about someone who used to work at a securities firm back when stock trading required filling forms by hand. He was the clerk who took my orders, and through him I got allocated many new stocks. Eventually we became friends. He also traded stocks himself and even sold a house 15 years ago to put all the money into the market. Because he worked in the industry, he had bigger courage. On top of his own funds, he also borrowed. He caught the 2015 bull market, and at the peak he told me his floating profit was over 4 million yuan. I advised him to pull out, especially since I had just bought a house. I also told him to take his money out and buy a house. He said there was no rush. He wanted to make 10 million yuan before leaving. Then, as everyone knows, the market hit the circuit breaker crash. His huge floating profit turned into a floating loss. He didn't make a single cent, and he lost the money from selling his house as well. He's retired now. I ran into him once, and he told me life has been difficult. His wife and son blame him every day. Through these two real stories, I hope everyone stops letting emotions control them. Don't open trades when you're fearful or when the market is doing poorly. If you don't understand the movement and trend, even if you win a few times by luck, when you eventually lose, you may regret it too late. Next week is from November 24th to December 1st. I won't read out the exact price levels. You can take a screenshot and save them. For Bitcoin, it needs to hold above $87,350 before we can expect upward targets. For Ethereum, it needs to hold above $2,880 before we can expect upward targets. If it cannot hold the midline, you must clearly understand that upward targets are impossible. Alright, that's it for today. Weekly forecasts should never be viewed alone. They must be combined with daily and monthly charts. The daily charts fill in what the weekly might miss. I wish you all the best. May you buy at the bottom and sell at the top. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you found this helpful. Send this to your friends too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.